in what was the inaugural and kickoff game to the 2023 NCAA tournament and March Madness. The Maryland Terps, West Virginia Mountaineers put on a banger and embodied the term March Madness. Happy recap, Maryland basketball postgame show. The Terps pull out a close victory, 67-65 over West Virginia, and Kevin Willard's rookie season as head coach continues to pick up steam as the Maryland Terps advance to the round of 32 to play on Saturday. God's favorite host. You know I had to sneak away and get as a post-game show for the Maryland Terps NCAA tournament game. Only place giving you sports how you want it when you need it. It's a Flex Zone podcast show. Maryland Terps pre-game and post-game recap coming to you now. What's going on, Flex Zone family? Happy March Madness. Happy Thursday. Happy Friday Eve. Only place giving you sports how you want it when you need it. Flex Zone podcast. Special afternoon happy hour post-game show for the Maryland Terps. I had to sneak away and give you guys my reaction, my thoughts as the Terps get a 67-65 victory over the number 9 seed. The Terps are the number 8 seed, West Virginia Mountaineers. The Terps advance to the round of 32 and look to make the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2016. If you guys are new here, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, sound off in the comments, let me know your thoughts. Again, the Terps get a 67-65, heart-wrenching, thrilling, exciting, raising, boiling your blood pressure win. West Virginia had a chance at the end with the last-second three, shot no good. Ooh, this game had a bevy of emotions as part of it. We actually saw these two teams play for the first time since the 1984 NCAA tournament. That's the last time they played in the NCAA tournament. Terps got the win under Lefty Driesell. He was a coach, 102-77. And when you look at this Maryland team, they've had a terrible record on the road. They were undefeated in conference at home. Neutral sites, they were pretty okay. And when you look at the 8-9 matchup, I thought Maryland maybe was a 7 seed personally, but giving them an 8 seed and putting them right in the same region with the collision course, inevitably, potentially with Alabama, the number 1 overall seed, I thought this was a good matchup for the Terps. 8-9 matchups are usually evenly matched teams. It's pretty much a pick 'em, a 50-50 situation. But I still had confidence that Maryland was the overall better team with the better talent and the better star players. And coaching-wise, seems like a guy that can hold his own with the best coaches in NCAA and one of the best in history, and Bob Huggins, a Hall of Famer himself. The first half, Don Carey got 2 quick fouls. That kind of threw me off. I was kind of a little upset at the way he started defensively. The Terps got a lot of ticky-tack fouls. They had 6 turnovers in the first 6 minutes, and they went 8 minutes and 28 seconds without a field goal. Then it's like they flicked the switch. They talked to Kevin Willard during the game and at halftime. I always say when the general doesn't panic, the troops don't panic. And Kevin Willard did not panic. He stayed calm. He stayed relaxed. The Terps played great matchup zone defense. They went to a 2-2-1 press, switching their defense, staying aggressive. Kevin Willard making those adjustments throughout the game. And I always talk about it in the NFL and the NBA, how you make those halftime adjustments. It's the same in college sports and college basketball. And Kevin Willard is a master of that. When he was hired, he was not a needle mover. A lot of people weren't familiar with his work, but he is a leader of men. He's a guy who can make adjustments. He can coach to his players' strengths. His scheme works for a variety of guys. And I think if something isn't working, he has something else in his bag of tricks to bring out. He did a great job. He's not only, when you're a college coach, you got to be able to coach on the field and off the field, and off the field means recruiting. He's not only a good coach, but he's a very good recruiter. And we haven't had that with the Terps basketball program in a mighty long time, because you had guys who could coach very well but weren't great recruiters. You had guys who could recruit well but weren't in-game coaching or making those adjustments. So Kevin Willard seems to be the guy, and Wait until next year, 2023 and 2024, when he gets some of his guys here and some of these guys transfer throughout the country and he gets some of his recruits from the local area, from the tri-state area and other areas throughout the country where he's tapped in and has a lot of guys on his staff who are locally embedded here and have the reputation and history and connections to the guys that are going to be coming up in the next 2 to 3 years, and keep this program strong and keep it full of fresh blue bloods in the local area and throughout the nation. Then the Terps flicked the switch. They flicked the light switch on, went 16-2 run. The zone defense was amazing. Bell of West Virginia getting 3 fouls was huge. They were +9 with him, -11 without Bell. So that was pretty much the difference in the game, in my opinion, because Bell's 3 fouls. Was the officiating a little ticky-tack on both ends? Maybe. But I do think the refs missed calls on both ends. I saw a couple Maryland players drive to the basket. Jameer Young didn't get calls. Julian Reese looking for calls. Ncaa Scott. And I think it was on the other end as well. West Virginia got hacked a little bit and some fouls weren't called. So we can say it was officiating. They were not letting things go. Now, Jameer Young had 4 turnovers, I believe, in the first half alone, and that was kind of his rocky start. I think him and Scott and Hart are the best players, Julian Reese. And when they're not playing their best, especially a guard in the NCAA tournament, I was saying, okay, he has to pick it up in the second half. West Virginia had a 19-6 run, and Maryland answered back with the 18-7 run. And at halftime, we had ourselves a ball game. Then West Virginia comes out in the second half. After Kevin Willis says stay calm, they get a 16-0 run. Johnson has 13 points. Then the tide turns, the momentum shifts when Bell fouls out. No points today. Only played 11 minutes. Then the Terps go on a 9-0 run. We were then at this point at 9 ties, 10 lead changes. West Virginia could not get into an offensive flow, could not get into an offensive rhythm against this Terps defense. That matchup zone, we saw some man-to-man. We saw the 2-2-1 press. Bob Huggins and his teams are known for pressing, but they could not handle the press today. They couldn't get into the offensive flow. They weren't making their three-point shots. They weren't able to get into rhythm. Maryland's largest deficit coming into this game that they came back from was when they beat number 1 Purdue at the Xfinity Center a few weeks back. They were down by 13 today and found a way to win. And my player of the game, the guy who was the key to this victory, was Julian Reese, the sophomore who has a ton of upside and his best days are only ahead of him. He went 6 for 9 from the field, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 blocks, which were great inside, and 17 points. First half, he was a little finicky. He was a little, I think, timid. He stayed out of foul trouble, which is a key for him. He was defensively disciplined. He showed good footwork, and he outworked everybody on the West Virginia low post. 17 points for him. Ncaa Scott, 11 points, 8 rebounds. He was banging down below. The offensive rebounds of Scott, Reese were big in the second half of this game and keeping the Terps with extra possessions, extra shot opportunities. Hakeem Hart, 15 points. He was big today. I think he's an X factor for this team, doing big things with 4 assists. Jameer Young, like I said, had really struggled. If you told me Jameer Young was only going to have 10 points coming to this game, I would be a little worried because I do think Julian Reese is the key. If he can give them that 15 to 20 points a night, I think the Terps have a chance. He can play with anybody. But I think Jameer Young, being the transfer leader, second team All Big Ten, if he only has 10 points, I'm a little worried. Does he have 10 points and 10 assists? No, he only had 3 assists. And like I said, he had 6 turnovers, 4 in the first half. So Jameer Young did not play his A game today. The upside to that is I expect better from him in the next game, which potentially could be against the number 1 team in the country, number 1 overall seed throughout the tournament, Alabama Crimson Tide. But at first, we saw they shot 33% from 3, 6 for 18. We know they're not a great three-point shooting team, but they shot 51%, 23 of 45 from the field, and 15 of 22 from the free throw line, 68%. West Virginia was 81% from the free throw line, only 42% from 3, 8 for 19, but only 39.3% from the field, 22 of 56. Like I said, they couldn't get any offensive rhythm in the second half, especially had a tough time making shots. Only had 2 players in double figures. You had Johnson with 27, and you had Mitchell with 13. So with that being said, you really didn't get much from other guys at West Virginia. As I mentioned, Bell fouled out, no points, 11 minutes. Mitchell, 13 points. Johnson was 27 points, had 13 at one point in the second half alone. So Stevenson really couldn't get going. Matthews, he couldn't get going. So the Terps did a good job defensively. I think the defense of the Terps was the difference in this game, along with the play of Julian Reese. And I got to give coaching. I think Kevin Willard outcoached Bob Huggins. He made the necessary adjustments. West Virginia couldn't get into rhythm. The pressing, active hands, aggressive nature of the Terps, while some guys did get into foul trouble early, once they scaled back a little bit and slid their feet and used their bodies to defend and get where they need to go, I think it was very, very important to see that they did a really, really great job in the second half. And that's coaching. That's development from Kevin Willard. And I'm really, really happy to see that. And they started off sluggish, but the Kadrian Johnson buzzer attempt at the end. That 3-point shot looked good from the vantage point of Jim Nance, Grant Hill, and Bill Raftery. But he did lead them with 27 points, but it bounced off the side of the rim. And the Terps improved to 22 and 12. And now this was a very, very good matchup. I mean, it lived up to the billing. As I said, 8-9 is always entertaining. And now it's just 50-50. If you're going to make a case for West Virginia, I would have saw it early on like they were going to run away with it. Maryland did a good job. Now, Maryland will advance to face the winner of number 1 overall seed Alabama and 16 seed Texas A&M Corpus Christi. I think it's safe to say Alabama is going to be the team the Terps play. And I think it's going to be very, very imperative for the Terps to get off to a fast start, limit their turnovers. And I think also Jameer Young is going to have to play a lot better. He's going to have 15 to 20 points minimum for this team to win. And he's going to have to not turn the ball over. I think this team is going to need to really, really limit their turnovers. They're going to need to limit the second chance opportunities of Alabama as well. So I do think it's going to be very, very imperative for them to rebound, especially on the offensive end, as they did very, very well, and on the defensive end, leading to 1 shot for Alabama. And I liked the overall just energy they played with in the second half. They started sluggish, but they were doing a hell of a job. And it's crazy because the last time the Terps were in the NCAA tournament 2 years ago, Maryland lost to Alabama in what round? The second round. So this could be a kind of a revenge aspect or a rematch, as you would say, possibly with Maryland against Alabama on Saturday. But let me know in the comments what you guys think about Maryland, man. They got the win. I predict this for the season, not to make it all about me, but I did say Kevin Willard, he would get the team not only to the NCAA tournament, but they would win a minimum of 1 game. Now, that is where my prediction ended because I had them losing in the round of 32. Now, next year, potentially, with the recruiting class they have, which will be a top 15 class, some of the guys they got coming in locally, just real quick, looking at the outlook, I mean, not to get ahead of ourselves, but I did have it pulled up. You got Deshaun Harris-Smith from Fairfax, Virginia, small forward, 6'4", 180, 4-star. Jamie Kaiser, IMG Academy, 6'6", 200, 4-star. Jonathan Lamotte from St. Francis, the big fella, 6'4", guard, 4-star recruit. And Brandon Pierce from IMG Academy, a big fella, 7 feet tall as well. So Maryland, more than likely, in my opinion, will not face Texas A&M Corpus Christi. No offense to you guys. Good job making the tournament. But I think Alabama, the team I actually think is going to win it all. If you watch my preview and prediction for the NCAA tournament, I gave you my Final Four sleepers, predictions, and things of that nature. Now, let's go over some of these scores because we had a big, big game. This started off the tournament fabulously, amazingly. It was heart-wrenching. We have Maryland, as I said, winning over West Virginia 67-65. The upset of the day, Furman beats Virginia 68-67 on a last-second 3-point shot. Slauson of Furman with 19 and 10. This is the biggest upset you probably will see all weekend. A 13 beating a 4. And it happened again here today. I think, what do we see? A 13 beating a 4. Was Liberty beat Duke? Was that a 13-4 matchup? Just off the top of my head, let me know if I'm wrong. But the Furman Paladins out of the Southern Conference with a record of 28-7 now after the win. They beat the number 4 seed Virginia Cavaliers 25-25, who were 25-8 coming into this. And this is what makes March Madness so great. I was telling people the NCAA tournament is so great because you have one and done. There is no tomorrow. You give everything you got for 40 minutes, maybe overtime, 45, 50 minutes, and you got to be happy with the result because these games, these momentum shifts, these possessions are hinged on 1-2 plays here a mental mistake, a fundamental error in a crucial point of the game. And I think that's how you see teams who maybe double-digit seeds, as I said, who are Cinderellas, make a run. And Furman today did that over Virginia, team I had very, very high hopes on. Actually, I had Virginia probably making it to the Sweet 16, looking at just the bracket. I had Virginia going on eventually to face Alabama in the Sweet 16 next week. So my bracket's already busted if you follow my advice. But with that being said, we have currently right now Missouri leading Utah State. I have Missouri winning that game 59-53. We have Kansas with no Bill Self today, but still taking care of business over Howard, 64-50, starting to pull away there. Alabama just getting underway against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Winner does play Maryland on Saturday. This game is in Birmingham, so in Alabama's backyard. So I expect Alabama to roll and win by double digits, winning 9-4 currently now. And Charleston, San Diego State just getting underway. This is an interesting 5-12 matchup. I could see Charleston pulling an upset here with an 8-4 lead early on. We still have Princeton, Arizona coming up at 4. Going with Arizona there. We have Arkansas, Illinois. That's a pick 'em as well, 8-9 matchup. I mean, I have Arkansas winning, but I can see Illinois out of the Big Ten. 650, Auburn, Iowa. I'm going with Auburn. That's another pick 'em, 8-9. Oral Roberts, Duke. I do think Duke advances. That's 7 o'clock. Texas, a team I have getting to the Final Four over Colgate tonight at 7:25. Northwestern beating Boise State 7-10 at 7:35, 7-10 matchup. Northern Kentucky taking on Houston. I have Houston in the Elite Eight at 9:20. Northern Kentucky takes on Houston. Tennessee, Louisiana. Tennessee, a team I have getting to the Elite Eight, beating Duke 9:40. We have Penn State and Texas A&M. I'm going with Penn State. I think they did a good job in the Big Ten tournament getting momentum. They play at 9:55. UNC Asheville and my national runner-up UCLA, who will go on to lose Alabama in the national championship game, at 10:05. So that's the slate for the scores and schedules today. Again, Maryland gets the win today, 67-65. Will play Saturday against either the winner of Alabama, number 1 overall seed in Birmingham, and Texas A&M Corpus Christi. As I said, they're just underway now as well. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. Are you excited about this Maryland Terps team? Do they have a legit shot to beat possibly the number 1 seed Alabama? What do you feel like the outlook is for 2023 and beyond for the Maryland Terps? Do you like Kevin Willard? He seems to be the man in charge here. Like I said, Maryland advances, will play the winner of Alabama, Texas A&M Corpus Christi. And so far, Furman advances, so they will play the winner of the San Diego State Charleston game. And the South coming out with guns blazing, putting on, and really setting the bar high for the rest of these NCAA tournament games tonight and the rest of the weekend. But I am here, guys. We're back. We're here on the channel. You guys know where to find us. The Terps do play on Saturday. I probably won't be able to be live for a post-game show Saturday, but I'll do some type of recap possibly early next week, Monday, Tuesday, depending on what happens. If the Terps win, if they lose, maybe you'll get a short at least out of me Saturday immediately after the game because I won't be able to physically sit down and take the time to do an actual post-game show like you see. If things change, we'll keep you posted. Hit the bell for all notifications. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the like button. Hit the bell. But we do this. We do Ravens. We do Orioles coverage, Orioles previews coming really, really soon. Position breakdowns and post-game shows for games there. Maryland Terps, I want to do more for basketball. I talked about some of the recruitment class, go more in depth, look at some of the transfers. This is going to be a potentially top 15, top 12 class. Maryland football, spring game coming up. Mike Loxley's staff is finally filled out. Who is coming back? Tua, we know. Talia Tagovailoa is coming back. Some of the pieces that are returning for this team. Is it time for them to win double-digit games and really compete in a competitive Big Ten conference? We'll talk about that, as well as they have a very good recruiting class and a bright future ahead in College Park. But again, the Maryland Terps, happy recap. Let's give it up for the Maryland Terps one more time. Big win today. Well deserved. Great job, Maryland. I mean, like I said, I did think once I saw Willard, I thought this year they would come back not only to the NCAA tournament, but I think they would win a game, and they do that, get to the round of 32. I think next year and beyond, this is a perennial minimum Sweet 16 second weekend tournament type team and possibly Elite Eight Final Four national championship contender. But a big time win for the Terps. Again, I'm going to give it up for one more time because I'm just very, very happy for the win today. We have a guy who can not only coach on the court, but off the court with his ability to recruit and be a leader of men and not panic when things get tough. And the Terps finding a way to win adversity, not shooting the ball particularly well, trailing by double digits multiple times, foul trouble, not playing their sharpest game, but doing the little things, the things that don't take talent, defense and rebounding, effort, heart. Julian Reese, the upside with him. Let's see what guys possibly, if they do fall short, come back next year with that extra COVID year possible. But I think Maryland, Alabama is going to be a very, very tight game. That's what it comes down to. I can see it being a 1-2 possession game where you could say, wow, if Maryland doesn't win, you can say, wow, they had a chance to win this game. This team is really, really solid. They're well coached. I think the Terps are that. And if they lose, and if they win, I think the key is going to be start fast, limit the turnovers, contain the shot opportunities of Alabama, limit them to one shot, one possession. Get to the free throw line, make easy buckets, and find a rhythm offensively, whether that's knocking down shots, shooting better percentages you did in the second half, or getting easier baskets with Julian Reese and guys cutting, being able to rebound, as I mentioned. But we'll see what happens. You'll get some type of news from us here on the Flex Zone Podcast. Only place giving you sports how you want it when you need it. If you guys haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell. I'm signing off. I'm going to watch the rest of these games, and we'll talk about it here on the channel. Flex Zone Podcast. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell. Let me know your thoughts. Hit the poll, vote. Let us know. Super chatters. Comment, sound off what you think. Maryland gets a win. It's a happy recap. As I said, NCAA tournament coverage all weekend here on the Flex Zone Podcast. On place, giving you sports how you want to win. You already had a big time upset with Furman beat Virginia. Maryland, West Virginia, down to the wire, which was a nail-biting contest in games wall to wall all weekend for you. But let us know what Maryland content you want to see on the channel. Like I said, I'll go more into the recruiting class, go more into the football team, looking at what's coming up at the end of this season and next season, do more post-game shows for you as well. Maryland will advance to play the winner of Alabama, Texas A&M, Corpus Christi on Saturday, and we'll let it play out. We'll see what happens. It's one and done. It's 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Give it everything you got, and anything can happen in the NCAA tournament. As I said, the Terps are going to have to start fast, limit their turnovers, find a rhythm offensively, limit Alabama to one possession, and get to the free throw line and make easy buckets. Make your free throws, make your layups, make your shots when they become available. If you're wide open and you're maybe not the best three-point shooter, take a step or two and attack the defense. Get some of their guys in foul trouble like you did with Belt today. It was a difference in the game. But I'm signing off. Happy recap. Maryland beats West Virginia 67-65. Only place giving you sports how you want when you need it. God's favorite host signing off. Have a great day. Enjoy the NCAA tournament games. Let me know your thoughts. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the like button. Hit that bell. Peace.